Let's give it up for Charlie one more time. All right, let's keep our energy going for our next comic, Mr. Andrew G.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Gonna do my best to make this last 5 minutes, much like sex with my wife. I was a dry guy for a long time, so you know when you get in that, it's hard to hang on there. So I was at the bar. I was listening to this guy. He was talking about St. Peter's Village. Has anybody been there? The place is pretty cool, right? So I've been there a few times. I try not to go during fantasy football season because my phone doesn't work there at all, which seems like a really bad place for your phone not to work because it's probably a place where you hurt yourself hiking pretty bad. But this guy's talking about, oh, there's these great hiking trails and these 1,000-foot elevations. He's like all psyched about it. I'm like, dude, no way. Like I'm shaped like a ball. Like if I fall, I don't stop falling until I hit the bottom. Like this guy's thin. If he falls, he's just gonna fall like a stick. And if I end up in a wheelchair, I'm not gonna look good in a wheelchair. Like if he ends up in a wheelchair, he can still get pussy, you know what I mean? Speaking of being a fat piece of shit, talked about Lizzo the past couple weeks. We're not going to go there this week, but I talked to Jeremy a lot after the shows. It's not by choice. Just kidding. Jeremy rocks. But he's always talking to me, and I tell him about my lifestyle, which is not the healthiest of lifestyles. He's always telling me, "You're probably pre-diabetic." That's what he's always telling me. Like, yeah, dude, that's what I want to hear. I'm probably pre-diabetic, right? But it got me thinking, like, there's pre-diabetic, and then there's diabetic. So I guess when you die, is that like being post-diabetic? All right. Speaking of dying, I was wondering, since Robin Williams played Mrs. Doubtfire, was he counted as a trans suicide?
What a dick.
I don't know if YouTube is going to let me go with that one. Anyway, everything's relative, you know what I mean? Right? Like, everything's about perspective, you know what I mean? Like, homeless? No, I'm an avid camper. Tent City is my shit. Speaking of everything being relative, I do enjoy going. I have 2 young kids. I like going to the park and taking them to the swings. Because the swings is the one place in public that I can push them as hard as I can and not worry about CPS coming back and bothering me. We're going to end it here. Again, I tried to make it last 5 minutes, people, but, have you guys heard of The Blind Side? Have you seen the movie The Blind Side? Yeah, well, there's a lot of controversy coming about this movie now. So if you haven't seen the movie, it's basically about this black homeless kid that was taken in by this white family, and he goes on to be an NFL superstar. It turns out that they didn't actually adopt the kid. So now I have 2 routes for this joke. One is the simple one. I could just say, like, talk about being blindsided, you know what I mean? Everybody's done that. I'm gonna go in the more controversial direction and say, for a white kid, one of the worst things to find out is that you've been adopted. But for a black kid, one of the worst things to find out is that you have not been adopted. Talk about fucking white privilege, you know what I mean? All right, everybody, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for coming out.
Let's give it up for Andrew G one more time.